Hello and welcome. My name's Kathy A. and I've got a day off from work. We have a blizzard going on outside and I've worn a shirt. Anyway, I thought I would grab the extra spare time and make a video. I have had so many of these palettes cluttering up in my collection. I just want to put them in my granddaughter's box pile or return them. And I thought I'd go over them with you because it's kind of fun to see the dark side, if you know what I mean. It's drugstore and cheapo makeup that you can find in discount houses and big lots places and train wreck store buyouts and grocery stores and 7-Elevens and things like that. These kind of makeup palettes, many of us just don't even bother trying them because, as somebody put it, we're makeup snobs. You know, once you've tried Viseart and Guerlain and NARS and Kat Von D, it's really hard to go in and buy a, eyeshadows 20 for $6.99 kind of a thing. And I just thought that I like to give them a chance, and I'm one of those people, even if I'm in a grocery store, I will have a little glance over to see if there's some weird little brand or some new palette or something that I haven't tried. And I'm really pleased with a lot of them. I would say though that 75% of the really cheap palettes are really cheap. I call them toy makeup. They're something that kids can play with and play dress up with. But even then, some of them apparently have asbestos in them. I guess if you go to Claire's, they're pulling their makeup off the shelves because they have found asbestos powder in the shadows. Can you imagine? And it's usually preteens that buy that stuff. So that's kind of the danger with some of these cheapo brands from China. You don't really know what's in them. And I think that's another thing that kind of differentiates a really expensive palette from a really cheapo one, is sometimes there's skincare ingredients or quality ingredients in the expensive one, but the drugstore one just has base pigments and fillers. And I think that some of them work out. So let's go through a few. Recently I was watching, I think it's Sabrina, and she went to Target, and apparently Target had this whole huge display of Profusion cosmetics, but it was just for the holidays. And I'm kicking myself because I didn't go right away for their day after Christmas clearance, because they put all of these palettes and all of their contours and brow sets and everything else in their clearance aisle with the dead Christmas tree stuff. And it was 90% off, and I missed all of them. So I did manage to pick this one up. This is the Sultry palette from Profusion Cosmetics. Sabrina talked about it like it was the best new thing. She can make anything look good on her face. I swear, if I just go out in the backyard and sling a dollop of mud at her, she can work it with her brushes and everything, and she can come out looking like a glamour queen. This had some really good colors in it. The darker colors, the shimmer colors looked great. The light colors surprisingly pigmented. If you see this in like a Five Below or TJ Maxx, a lot of these wind up in like a TJ Maxx Marshall situation. This one is called the Sultry palette, and it's got beautiful colors in it. I believe this was $9.99, so it was under $10 for this. And it's from Profusion, and Profusion, I believe they're from California, Northern California. They make so-so drugstore grade level cosmetics. Some of their stuff is good, some is hit or miss. It's one of those things where, like, if you see some good shades in here, deep pot them, and put them in a pan and then put them in a Z palette, but some of these palettes just aren't, they're just not worthy of staying in your collection because you just never will reach for them. Walgreens had some interesting holiday sets. Now this one is from Sleek, and this was on sale for 50% off, so it was only $15 for the set. And the eyeshadows were surprisingly good. I liked the presentation. I thought it was very, very high-end looking, the way they did it. And Bella from Beauty on a Budget over there in England, she had sent me a Sleek palette, and I really liked it. She's a beauty channel y'all should check out. She's just one of the sweetest people. This particular palette came through. You can't do a complete eye look with it because there's no real base crease color. That's a matte, but there are some beautiful shimmer colors in here. And then there is a highlight palette which has cream highlights with all the different sheens. Actually, there's one cream highlight and 3 powders. Somebody told me I don't hold my hand up long enough. Okay. But that's really nice. And Sleek does cater to different skin tones, so you're going to find that you get products mixed in that wouldn't necessarily look good on your skin tone, but would look fabulous on somebody else's. In case in point, this is the blush palette, and it's a very odd looking color assortment. This is a very mustardy yellow, but if you have a darker skin tone, this would be a beautiful highlight or blush topper. This one and this one, they're showing very, very orangey pink. They actually look nice. This middle one I really liked very much, and I think Sleek blushes are some of the best drugstore blushes out there. So this palette for 15 bucks, I really feel like I got a great deal, and this is a great box. I have, I call it my brush box, and after I use a brush when I'm putting my makeup on, I throw it in. Right now I'm using the Tarte Vault box for that. But I just throw the dirty brushes in that, and then I carry it over to the sink afterwards and clean the brushes out. But this would be a nice one for that as well. I think it's that's a great little gift. And I do like Sleek. I think the quality was there, and I definitely would recommend the brand in general. Speaking of Sabrina, she went nuts over this brand, and it's an online company called Beauty Creations. And what they are is a dupe company. Basically, they make their palettes to dupe famous palettes of higher end brands at about maybe half the price. I think this one was around $12, and this is called Irresistible. I'm just going to show it to you so you can see the colors, because on the surface this appears to look a lot like the colors from Modern Renaissance. And what she did was, she did one eye with the Irresistible palette from Beauty Creations, and she did the other eye with the Modern Renaissance from Anastasia Beverly Hills, which is about $40 more in cost. I was not impressed with this, and I was so disappointed. The couple of the darker shades were fine, but it was so lightly pigmented that it took me several different tries to get any color at all. And what I had to wind up doing was wetting my brush with a setting like my MAC Fix Plus. I had to wet the brush first and go into the shadow in order to get any kind of pigmentation at all. So I'm disappointed in this, and I got a couple of other palettes from the same company that I'm also disappointed in, but I did notice the formulation was different on some of them, and one of them is a little more tolerable than the other. So I could not recommend this, this particular version from the Beauty Creations website. Irresistible. It does not come off at all like Modern Renaissance, although the colors look similar in the pan. The two that I also bought from there, because they were supposed to imitate mattes. This was supposed to be, I think, the Kat Von D, and then this one was supposed to be the Urban Decay. It was just really weak. I just didn't find that the colors popped at all, and I think it was a you get what you pay for thing, although I did like the kind of plasticky metal looking palette. This one is called the Barely Nude 2 from Beauty Creations. It's from that same website. I will link the website below because I did like this palette and it lasted all day. I don't know if it's a completely different formulation from the other things, but this was a wonderful palette. It has every color you would need for a warm, neutral, or cool tone basic eye. And then you could take some shimmer from some other palette and add to it. This is the Barely Nude 2. Packaging is great. I think this ran around, I want to say around $8 or $9. It was very, very nice. And that one I would totally recommend. And it's on the website called Beauty Creations. Walgreens had, again for the holidays, this was a very odd collaboration. Any of you who watch Project Runway would know Christian Siriano. He was one of the kind of, well, he had kind of a quirky personality. He was one of the designers who made dresses and pants and stuff, and they gave these designers challenges to compete against each other, and he had won that particular year. He's a fabulous clothes designer. He's very, very interesting. This is the Christian Siriano New York Nude Basics eyeshadow palette, and this is the Smoky Basics eyeshadow palette. Neither one of them is basic or good, and I'm just so surprised. They are on sale now at Walgreens for $5.99, and using a name like Christian Siriano, you would think there would be something of value to these. A couple of nice shimmers. Again, I would depot, just like the silvery grays are really pretty in this palette. This is the Smoky Basics. Right now they're on sale for $5.99 at Walmart. They may even, Walgreens, it may even be less now because they're putting their Christmas crap, like crapola, at about like, 75% off. They get like a week after, New Year's. They start really wanting to get that stuff out of there because they're bringing in their Valentine's stuff. The Nude Basics, cute packaging. The Nude Basics, again, plastic metal thing, looks nice. They could very well have had these made at that other place. Nude Basics disappointed me. It was very kind of warm orangey. There wasn't a lot of differentiation between the color shades. They all kind of look the same, flat on your, you just make a hot mess orangey brown eye with this. And this particular color, you either went too dark or too light with the crease color, and there just wasn't enough here. But individual colors, this bronzy color was very, very pretty. But I can't sing praises on this brand or this palette. So, but again, great packaging. So I'm gonna take it out of the package so the granddaughters think it's a high-end thing. They're getting all picky now when I give them, we go through our makeup box, they're looking through and they're like, they're getting worse than me. Milani put out a new series of eyeshadows. I think it was about a year ago. They came out with several different series. I think these are two of the best. This is the Smoky Essentials, and this is the Plum Basics. These shadows have a very nice pigmentation. They don't wear as long as other palettes I've used, but I think with a good primer and then maybe some kind of a setting spray, you can get pretty good payout for a limited time. I don't like it when I go to the ladies' room at lunchtime and my eye makeup is gone. And sometimes with these kind of palettes I do, but these are great. These two particular ones from there, and you got a nice base color, a crease color, and you've got a corner color. So Milani did a great job with their basics. This is brand new. Rimmel, they just redid their makeup line. They just repackaged everything, and I think they reformulated their foundation, because I just got their new foundation. I'll be talking about it in another video. And this is an eye palette, and I wore this yesterday to work. It is a functional palette. You can do a basic eye with this. I took my crease color from somewhere else, but all the other colors, really, really nice, especially the green, blue, purple here. Very, very nice. And then this nice bronzy, pretty orangey, bronzy color. Nothing's too overly shimmery. It's just a very colorful palette, but I think it's great for adding a touch of color to your makeup. If you're just using, your basic beige eye, this will zap it up a little bit, and the quality was quite good. It lasted the whole day. So Rimmel, and this palette is the Magnifies Color Edition. And they spell color like they do in England. I think it was Emily Noel who was talking about the LA Colors palette. They're trying to imitate a more higher end palette, or even maybe a Morphe palette, I don't know. But LA Colors, normally your real cheap Kmart, Family Dollar store kind of brand. This was surprisingly good. This was a basic nudes palette. You know, you do your basic beige eye. The darker colors were really nice. There was a little bit of pigmentation here with your lighter colors, but this faded out on the eye so quickly. Once you put it on your eye, it disappeared. So there was no longevity with this particular palette. I couldn't recommend it. Another recommendation from Emily Noel was this NYX Ultimate palette. This is the Warm Neutrals, I believe. Yeah. She said that it was the #1 selling eye palette in Target, and I was disappointed. I thought the color assortment looked good in the pan, but again, these things had no real longevity, and there was not a lot of pigment, and especially in the lighter and medium tone colors. A couple of the darker colors. There's nothing really truly dark in here. This brown is not as dark as you would want it to be. There's missing here is maybe like a black or a charcoal gray or a dark brown. This just doesn't cut it. I was disappointed in this. I didn't think it was that great. I'm not a huge fan of NYX eyeshadows anyway, so maybe I was being a little bit non-objective. I don't know. But I didn't like this. And even though the color combination looked kind of neat, I didn't think it lasted very well. I didn't like the blendability, so it failed for me. Ulta. Makeup Revolution. They came out with copycat palettes as well, but they did a better job at it. Again, the pigmentation isn't as strong as the original that they're trying to duplicate, but they have some of the best eyeshadow palettes out there for the money. So it's a brand I totally would recommend. I like, and I think they're out of England. I totally love this one. I think this is one of my favorite dupe palettes, although it's such a direct hit. Oh my God. Kat Von D's Shade and Light palette. It's slightly different, and it's slightly more pigmented. It's my favorite palette. I've reached pan again. This is my third or fourth one of this, and I keep reaching pan on this color because I love it. But you can see that there's this similarity. I mean, there's no questioning what they were trying to do here with this. What's amazing about this palette is that it is pretty much an exact dupe. I had to work a little bit harder to get the pigmentation. My eyes today are basically done with this and the Comfort Zone palette, which I'll talk about in a minute. But this is a great palette. This is called the Ultra Eye Contour palette from Revolution. It's $15, and the one from Kat Von D, I believe, is, I want to say $50, $42. Yeah, let's talk about Wet n Wild. They've been busy. They put out some very, very good products this past year, you know, with the catsuit stuff and everything else. And just near the end of the year, I think it was early November, they reformulated and repackaged some favorite eyeshadow palettes. And I think these are taking the place of all the junky little crunchy ones that they have around on their regular thing. These are two palettes that I absolutely love. This is the Comfort Zone palette revised, and then this one is called Rose in the Air. And Rose in the Air is very, very modern Renaissance-ish in its color assortment. This won my palette of the year for 2017 for drugstore palette, so say no more. The pigmentation is awesome. It's like a high-end product. If you repackage this and put Guerlain on it, I would go, oh gosh, it's worth the money. You know, I would do it. Absolutely beautiful. And I like the new packaging. I think it's great. Comfort Zone, it seems different to me, and I don't know, I think it's because I'm wearing this kind of bluish green color on my eyes today. I don't know if you can see. Brulee is in this one, I believe. Yeah, Brulee definitely is in this Rose in the Air one. The browns are great. You've got your crease colors, you've got your base colors, you've got a little bit of zap there. This is a great all-around palette. Comfort Zone was a favorite of mine when I first started doing YouTube videos. So, the single, which everybody loves this as a single, this is Brulee. I call it Creme Brulee, just because I love creme brulee. Let me do side by side here. They look similar. It looks almost like the Brulee is slightly more warm-toned. But these are still the 98-cent. They make a great base. Let me just put some here, put some here. Yeah, woo. They also have some quad palettes they came out with. This is similar to like the Best of Petal Pusher. Do you remember that? They had a purple that was like Comfort Zone, and the blue one, Blue Jeans or whatever it was called. This was Petalite is the name of this particular palette. This has some beautiful purples, lavenders, thinking spring. It's so cold here. It's been like 5 degrees, 4 degrees, 2 degrees. Yeah, this is like the best of what was in that Petal Pusher palette, and they put it in a quad, and this is just beautiful. Pigmentation, gorgeous. You know, when you try these shadows and then you go back to the Siriano ones or those ones from the Beauty Creations, there is no competition. They're just so buttery and high-end feeling. So Wet n Wild did a great job, and as you know, Wet n Wild purchased Physicians Formula about 2 years ago. So I think they're all like influencing each other back and forth, because Physicians Formula is stepping up a little bit, except for their foundation shade range, and Wet n Wild is definitely stepping up their game as well. Essence put out a box set of individual shadows, and these are wonderful. And I'm not a fan of Essence eyeshadows. I don't like any of their palettes. The rose gold one was okay, except you get glitter everywhere. There's a few of them that look like they would be good, but they're not. But these individual shadows are a different formula, and they're beautiful. They're almost like, you know, their blushes are beautiful too. But they're the individual eyeshadows that come in a box, and I'm sure that that's a special for the holiday. It's going to be discontinued or sold out pretty soon. Definitely worth picking up. I saved 3 of these and gave the other 3 away. I love them. This is a company that you can find in the Five Below store. You can also find this online. I'll have a link below. This is Beauty Treats. And these hang up in a little card, just like stuff in a grocery store would. And if you look at these colors, this is the neutrals, I think it's called. It's so long I don't even have any paperwork or anything on this. I think it is the neutrals palette. But Viseart has a neutrals palette. It looks almost identical. And I'm like, yeah, right. You know, Viseart against the $2 competitor. Well, I think it was Sabrina who did this. She did one eye with this and one eye with this, and you could not tell the 2 of them apart. I am just totally amazed at the quality of these eyeshadows. I think for the money, because I have the Viseart, I reach for the Viseart, but if I was broke, and I am often, this is what I would get. I mean, you don't need to get the Viseart if you have this, because it's like a $2. It might even be $3. I don't know. But this palette has pigmentation. It's gorgeous. Let me just show a couple of these. That's not a good show. Okay. These colors blend well. They look good. They last all day. This is the best palette ever done by a duping company, a cheapo makeup company. Hopefully there's no asbestos in this. But you can get this at Five Below, and it's in with the eyeshadows, but it's hanging like, you know, on a rack. it's on a card, and there's a colorful one that imitates the Viseart that looks like all different rainbow colors, and then there's this one, and phenomenal, phenomenal. So Beauty Treats wins as far as the best cheapy old drugstore palette. I hope this has been fun for you. It's an awful lot of fun trying out these things and then telling you what I think. I hope all of you are having a great New Year week. How are your resolutions coming along? I know how mine are. Well, actually, I've been really good. It was like, eat healthier, move around, exercise more, slow down on the wine. 2 of the 3 of those I am working on. And I think, it's all about baby steps with me. I'm just, substituting. I'm having like chocolate, diet hot chocolate instead of a soda pop. I'm just making substitutions right now. I'm not killing myself with health. Anyway, hope everybody's having a wonderful week. Have a beautiful day. Take care. Toodles.